Combining AI with real footage is actually much easier than you might think. As a matter of fact, I'm already doing it right now. In this video, we will explore 5 different techniques that you can use to start mixing AI with real footage. And it's actually a lot more fun than you might think. Here's what we will cover. First, I will show you how to use motion transfer. And second, I will show you how you can relight your shots super easy like this. Next up, we got omni editing, and what this means is that you can use the same clip, but you can put yourself in a different environment with a different background, anything that you can imagine. Then we have technique number 4. You can have a different face
and a different voice, all with the same video inputs.
And last but not least, AI VFX. And this is one of the coolest ways to start mixing AI with real footage. Now, the only thing that you need is recordings of yourself or the footage that you want to use and an AI subscription. For this, I'm using Higgsfield because it has all the tools that I will be needing, including Kling motion transfer and also a voice changer, which is super useful to making it sound realistic. I will leave the link to Higgsfield in the description down below if you want to check it out. Before we get started, let me first explain what we will be using for this. The first method that we're going to be using is called motion transfer or motion control. Let me show you where you can find this inside of Higgsfield. So you want to go over to video, then you're going over to Kling 3.0 motion control. And this is where you can upload a video of yourself and a reference, and it's gonna take over your video. So we have this type of motion with this kind of visual. For example, if you want to have specific acting or specific way someone moves, that's when you use motion control. So I have this video right here with my amazing acting where I'm walking towards the camera and then I'm talking into the camera and then I walk away. That's the type of scene that I want to be using. So that is the first recording that I did. Then we take that video and we upload it right here on add motion to copy. What this will do is it will copy that exact motion. Then the next step is to add in your character. Now, to create your character, I used Soul 2.0, and this is on Higgsfield. What you need for this is you have a character of yourself. I made this in one of my previous videos. It's basically just having like 20 different images of yourself, and that way you can create your own character. Now, you can also use Nano Pro for this if you'd like, and I would recommend that to you if you need something quickly. Then the next step is you take your prompt. So I'm going for a bit of a Game of Thrones style vibe where I change myself into a medieval ranger. Basically, I'm describing everything that I want to have happen. I will put all of my prompts in the school community. As always, you can join that for free and you can check out all of the prompts that I've made for my videos, so you can go over this yourself at your own pace. Then I'm putting this into 2K and then I'm hitting generate. So that gives me a result like this. And this is perfect. So if you're happy with your result, you're downloading it and you go back to the motion control and then you upload it right there. So now you have your character added in there. So now the next thing that you need to decide is where the scene control mode is coming from. Do you want to have that from the video or from the image? If you do so from the video, then you might get this character in this background. If you do the other way around, so you choose the image, then we're getting this image to move like my video. And that is what I want for this one. I will show both methods. Like if you do the video and if you do image, you will get totally different results. But hey, let's have a look first. So here we have the first result. They don't know what's coming, but we do. So yeah, everything from my voice has been used here to my movement. It's just that my appearance has changed into this Game of Thrones style appearance. And of course, it's still not perfect, but overall, this is pretty good. The more motion you have, so I'm like walking towards the camera, the harder it gets. If you remain at the same pose, and these are all the little TikTok, Instagram memes that you will be seeing going around where people like move or change themselves into a girl, into a guy, into a famous person, whatever. Like these are the videos you see happening often, and this is super easy to do. Here is the other result. They don't know what's coming, but we do. As you see, this is not as good because we're mixing real footage here with the AI, and even though it might work, in this case, because we're moving this character from far away, closer to the camera, the details get blown out a bit too much. Like this looks a bit too plastic. This doesn't even look like me or doesn't look like the reference we put in. So you can also do this with holding objects and transfer that motion onto your character. So for example, here I made another recording where I was holding this tripod and I was pretending like I'm inspecting it as if it's some kind of like gun element. Yeah, sorry about my acting, but if we put this character together with that motion control, then we get something like this. So here we have my exact movement, but applied to this sci-fi character. The only bad thing that I would have to say about this is it didn't quite take over the gun it originally had in his hands. Like if we take a look at the reference image we put in there, then it had a hard time adjusting my tripod into something that looks like a gun. But other than that, the motion is there. And you have to just try this out a couple of times. For this video, I just had to do something quickly. But yeah, play around with this, try it out a few times and see what kind of results you can get. Method 2 is relighting your scene. Imagine you're outside, you're shooting someone, and the light currently is sunny. But let's say you want to shoot during sunset and you don't have time to wait for that. Or let's say you want to wait until nighttime and you want to have a moonlit face. What you can do with AI right now is you can take an image of your character and you can change it with Nano Banana to have that exact lighting. And then you put it inside of the Kling motion control, and then it will apply that kind of lighting and that kind of environment to your character. Now, I must say though, I tried this a few times, and with just the raw files of me coming out of the AI generator, it doesn't look that close to what I look like. But if you have different shots, for example, shots where you don't need to have the full character face in the shot, but maybe some kind of motion, maybe some kind of back angle, then this works perfectly. So what I did is I downloaded my video, then I copied this frame. So I copied this and I shared it to my photos. So now it's in my photos, and then I'm using this in Higgsfield. So if I go over to Higgsfield right now and I go back to Nano Banana Pro for this one, and then I upload my image. I upload it in here as a reference, and then I give it my prompt, which you can find in the school community, and I hit generate. Then I get something like this. So then you download this image, and now you can go back over to motion control. You can add in that original video that you had of yourself, for example, me at the park. You upload it in there, and then you add in the image of you with the different lighting, and then we switch over to image here, and then we hit generate. If we take a look at them side by side, then we can see that now we have the lighting and the shadows from above and from behind, where we have these tree branches in there, but also the overall like video of me, because I think we're using the side angle of me, it's not looking as good. So again, with characters, it's having a bit of a hard time to keep up with it. Now you can do this with any type of lighting. For example, you can do this with a sunset, a blue hour twilight, or even a dense morning fog. Method number 3 is AI video editing, and here we're using Kling Omni Edit. And this is quite exciting because with this method, what you can do is you can change the weather, you can add in VFX elements, or you can even change the entire location. So the difference between Kling 3.0 in motion transfer and Kling 3.0 Omni Edit is that motion control is transferring the motion from your video reference to a new character. With Omni Edit, we're taking a existing video, we're adding in elements. So this could be character, this could be product, or anything you want it to do, and then you're adding in a text prompt. It looks very similar, but it is a little bit different. But let me show you how you can change the weather. Here again, we have this beautiful video of me acting as if I'm like standing on Titanic or something. I don't know what I'm doing there. But basically what we're going to do is want to go from motion control over to Kling 3.0 Omni Edit, and this will take you here. Then you upload your video right here. So if you want, you can add in your image right here or an element. I'm not doing that in this case. So for the prompt, I'm changing the weather to heavy rain, add in wet reflections on the ground, strong backlit lighting, moody cinematic atmosphere, and keep the person and their movement unchanged. So yeah, that's what I'm doing in here. And now we're gonna just hit generate, and that gets us a result like this. So here we have heavy rain, looks quite good. We can also do the same with snow, or we can even add in elements. For example, here I had a different video of myself and I just changed the background to a house being lit on fire. Now this one didn't quite work as well because, as you can see, I'm way too overly lit for this scene. Like, you gotta adjust your lighting a little bit. If you're in a controlled environment, like if you're in a studio where you control the lights, then you can adjust them based on your needs. For example, in this case, I'm working with all of my shots that are recorded in a park. All of them have pretty good sunlight across the whole scene. I cannot really use this in this scene where the house is on fire at night, where I'm overly exposed. That just doesn't work that well with AI. But then again, I tried this also with me being underwater, and this one worked quite well. And lastly, you can even change the background just by adding in where you want to be. Also, if you don't want to record any videos of yourself, then you can also try this out with AI generated videos. So let's say you have a certain scene that you want to have in a different location, but you still like the original movement or the original scene that you had generated. You just want to change the background, environment, or anything. You can do so. Just take a look at this little compilation of all the changes from my original scene. Method number 4 is changing your character, but also changing their voice. And that last bit is important because, as you saw with a lot of these videos that I just recorded, we have me walking in the park and I can say all kind of like cool lines.
They don't know what's coming.
But in the background, you still hear these bird noises, or you have my voice, which doesn't sound like the character that I might have in mind. Like, let's say I want to have my motion transferred to a female character. My voice doesn't match with a female character.
I've seen the footage. He knows we're watching.
So that's where you also have to change the voice. Let me show you how. Now, to start changing your voice, you want to go over to the audio tab and then change voice. Here you can add in your video. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this video, which is the video you saw in the intro where we use my voice. And now we're gonna change this voice into a different character. So we can choose from any of these characters, or we can even make our own custom voice. For example, let's do Killian here. And then we just hit generate. Then you get a result like this.
They don't know what's coming, but we do.
They don't know what's coming, but we do.
Let me explain why it is so important that you change the voice to match your character. For example, if I have this character right here, this tough looking guy, and then as an input we have me.
They're coming. We need to move now.
If I use my original voice, then it will sound off.
They're coming. We need to move now.
But if we now change this to this voice changer, then we get something like this.
They're coming. We need to move now.
Same goes for changing a voice to a female. Like, I cannot mimic the voice of a female, so let me just use this.
I've seen the footage. He knows we're watching.
And in this case, I used 11 Labs for this. You have a voice changer modus in 11 Labs, and that might even be better than Higgsfield version. But you can try both. Higgsfield has one that's baked in there, and 11 Labs might give you better results, but it will be another subscription that you need to get. For method number 5, we have VFX, and here we're using Kling 3.0 start and end frame. So for this shot, I'm changing my hand. You can literally take a screenshot, then you're putting that into Nana with a prompt, and then you get something like this. Then you upload the last frame of your video as the start frame. And then you also upload the image that you just made with Nano Banana as the end frame. Then we're going with a handheld shot of the hand slowly clenching into a fist and opens back up with the fingers spread wide. Now what this will do is it will have to start at this frame and it needs to end at that frame. If you do that correctly, then you will get something like this. Now this is still pretty boring because we're starting our hand in the exact same position. If you generate yourself a few versions like I did right here, like for example this zombie hand where we have it like this, then we have a different version from our original start frame. And if we then put it through Kling, then we get something like this. So yeah, that's a lot cooler. And if you now start to combine all of the methods that I just shown you, then you can make yourself a cool short little trailer like this one.
They're still here.
If you want to try all of this yourself, then I would recommend getting the Ultimate or the Creator Plan because you will burn through quite a bit of credits. Now the Creator Plan is quite expensive, so I would say it's only for heavy users. But seriously, if you're using AI a lot, this might be a good deal for you. Click the video that's on the screen right now if you want to learn how you can make cinematic looking videos with AI.